We have been talking about this once in a generation opportunity, yet a lot of people think that it's some sort of joke. But what is actually happening around crypto? I mean, just take a step back and really kind of think about this. We are starting to see every big player, it's not just finance, it's enterprise as well. They're all lining up to tap into this tech. And even more recently, a co-founder from the space, which we all know, Lehman Baird from Hydera, said that today's technological advances will make the Industrial Revolution look minor in comparison. Now, this was at an AI summit. But when we really think about what's happening, okay, we are witnessing not just AI become a huge piece of the global system, we're also witnessing blockchain and DT become integrated completely into the system. Everyone is talking about this tech at this point. And when I say everyone, I'm not talking about retail. No, I'm not talking about retail. Because most of the retail sector is still on the sidelines. We're talking about every prominent company, financial giant, all the big banks. And yeah, I mean, this is going to completely overshadow every other industrial revolution prior. That's why we call it the Industrial Revolution 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution. And this is digitization of basically everything. Now, this is going to be driven by, data connectivity, advanced technologies. I mean, even within this is from McKinsey, by the way, they're talking about connectivity, data, and computational power, cloud technology, the internet, blockchain, sensors, analytics, and intelligence, advanced analytics, the machine learning, AI human-machine interaction, virtual reality, and augmented reality, robotics and automation, autonomous guided vehicles, advanced engineering, additive manufacturing such as 3D printing, renewable energy, and nanoparticles. But when we think about what's really going on, the two of the biggest things I would say around the fourth industrial revolution is simply just AI and blockchain. Why? Well, because if we think about what's really going on, okay, the biggest companies out there are tapping into AI initiatives. You could say Microsoft, you could say Amazon. All of the big companies are looking at automation because, and this might sound horrible to some people, but these companies they're greedy. They're corporations, right? They're extremely greedy. So if they could tap into AI and if they could automate processes, they can get rid of employees. They could start to see more revenue generation as well, but also even outside of that, blockchain and DT combined with AI could save a ton of money without replacing workers through just automated processes or even digitized processes or even unlocked revenue flows. We know that blockchain can do this. So that's why when we look at some of these public traded companies like Microsoft, almost 4 trillion guys, that's more than the current market cap of crypto. I mean, even Apple almost has the same market cap as crypto. Nvidia, almost the same market cap as crypto. Amazon's close with 2.21, a 0.5 trillion. Google, almost 2 trillion. Saudi Aramco, almost 65 trillion. But these are all big companies, and a lot of these companies are already tapped in on crypto and blockchain initiatives, like for an example, right? MasterCard tapped in 525 billion. Okay, Visa also tapped in almost 700 billion GP. Morgan Chase already has private blockchain tech tapped in almost $1 trillion. And Tesla has Bitcoin on its balance sheet. They're also looking into AI automation with blockchain as well. 1.25 trillion, guys. These are massive giants. So when we think about the fact that the market cap of crypto, the total space, is 3.2828 trillion, it should tell you everything about just how undervalued crypto actually is. Now on top of that, we look at banks right back towards the end of April. Eric Trump said that if banks don't watch what's coming, they'll be extinct in 10 years. Now, this is the thing, right? We are starting to see the banks form up to crypto. And I think that a big part of this is from what we've been seeing from like the OC. For an example, the OC on May 8th said that banks can buy and sell their customers' crypto assets held in custody. On top of that, we have over here from Treasury Secretary Scott Bent on April 9th. This was before the American Bankers Association, and if we scroll all the way down, you have to get through all of this, right? All the way at the bottom, we will take a close look at regulatory impediments to blockchain, stablecoins, and new payment systems, and we will consider reforms to unleash the awesome power of the American capital markets. Americans deserve a financial services industry that works for all Americans, including Main Street, and this is telling us and confirming that blockchain, stablecoins, and new payment systems derived are LNDT and blockchain itself are going to become the next big step. And I also think that to really kind of involve it, AI is also going to be involved in this entire, push, because we know that David Sachs is not just the crypto czar, he's also the I czar as well. But on top of that, we go over here to this video, and this is a video clip that got posted by Digital Asset Buy, and it's actually Ralph Paul, and we have lock-in. This is the big one. This is your chance to make wealth. It will level the playing field. It goes from a 3 trillion asset class today to 100 trillion. In 10 years' time, there is 97 trillion in wealth that is going to get made. I would argue that it's actually even much larger, but yeah, this is a very good start. Check it out. This is the big one. This is your chance to make wealth. And not only can you make a bit of wealth, it's the fastest appreciating asset class in all of human history. So you can catch up really fast. So you just have to get involved and start that journey. But it will level the playing field for millions of people. So my view is it goes from a $3 trillion asset class today to $100 trillion in 10 years' time. So we're only 3% of the way there. And if you put it in different terms, that means there is $97 trillion of wealth that's going to get made. People are going to make a lot of money, but it's not a few people. It's not like the tech barons or the bankers. This is like, well, Binance has 260 million customers. Now you could lift 260 million people, change their lives. Okay, that's a big deal. There's 500 million crypto accounts around the world, so you can change 500 million lives. And if you speak to CC or you speak to the others, they'll say, we want to have 1 billion people, 2 billion people. Well, if you can change 2 billion people's lives, that's a quarter of the world. So it's a very, very big deal. And also it's a big deal because people are getting access to dollars. So the stablecoin thing, I asked CZ about this. I'm like, well, what about stablecoins? He said, I didn't see how big they were going to be. He didn't realize, and most of us didn't realize how desperate people are to own US dollars. And so to get access to dollars, you had to have access to a big bank, and they would, or you could get a small amount of dollars, but normal people couldn't save in it. And somebody in Southeast Asia, they couldn't get access to dollars. And now suddenly they can get it on their Binance app immediately and send it to somebody else. US dollars, that's an incredible change for people. So there's some really big things happening that really change the world for a lot of people. And yeah, when we really think about what's going on here, we are starting to see a flood happen. The flood is happening around tokenization, around stablecoins, and even around AI itself. But what's crazy is that, yeah, this is the big one. This is probably one of the biggest opportunities that we will have in front of us for the next, who knows how long, 5,100 years, because what's next after this? AI at scale needs blockchain. We've talked about this on many occasions. What we are witnessing around the space is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And now is the time to lock in. You have to, because if you miss this, you are missing out on probably one of the greatest opportunities to not just make a ton of wealth, but to, I would say, this is going to create financial freedom like no other. This will secure your future as well as, many of your generations to come, because this is not just a small, push. We're not talking about, oh yeah, it's going to 10x or 100x. We're talking about going from 3 trillion to 100 trillion, 97 trillion. And by the way, I think that it goes much higher than that because of how big tokenization actually is. And, when we really think about this, what's the enablers of all of this? Is it, Dogecoin or Shiba? No, it's the utility-based projects. It's Hydera, right? Hydera's already tapped in with some of the most prominent names out there. Aberdeen Australian Payments, plus Avery Dennison. Guys, the names tied back to the GC list for HBAR alone should tell you everything that you need to know about HBAR. On top of that, we think about Ripple, right? Ripple with XRP under the hood. We look at all of the names tied to it. Major banks, massive, massive names on top of that. They're part of organizations like the BIS's CPMI group, for an example. And the facts are there, right? Like, these are actual customers telling us that, you know, what they were able to do with Ripple and even XRP is extremely significant, and it's extremely efficient as well. And then you go over to the XRP slide on Ripple's website, and you can see the digital asset for real-world utility. There's facts behind it. There's numbers. There's things that back the overall idea of XRP being this massive utility-based giant that's a powerhouse around, you know, for an example, DeFi tokenization payments. I'm focused on these types of projects. I'm focused on these types of projects because they are the enablers of growth. They're the most efficient tech. They're the most disruptive tech as well. We obviously look at XLM. We look at Algorand. Like, these are all projects that have case studies tied to them, things that we could actually look into, research and study because of what is actually being told to us. We know that these are the types of projects that will be very valuable, not in just the next 12 months, the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. These are projects that are going to continue to be making noise and continuing to expand and scale as well. We already know HBAR is becoming a 100-year plus company, and this space itself is not slowing down, it's only accelerating. So from here, you know, we go to 10 trillion, from 10 trillion, we go to 240 billion, 20 trillion, from 20, we go to 50, from 50, we go to 100. And I don't think that it just stops there. We have such an incredible opportunity in front of us. This is one of the largest technological advancements in human history. And we have to pay attention to this, we have to study this, and we have to lock in. Because if we don't, we risk completely missing out and throwing financial freedom out the window. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave us subscribe notifications on, because more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord on description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.